All right, Joe, we're concerned with 4 wires here in that wiring harness I gave you. Red, step, green, direction, blue, enable, and white, brown, okay? On your controller, okay, right now, like I said, I have a rotary setup, all right? So, just for this demonstration, okay? So, in this case, where I have that wire right there, okay, which is pin 6 on the plug, and I'll show you in a minute, I have that going to 0 volts. Now you can take this and put this to 5 volts, okay? But then you switch B from step plus to step minus, okay? So, basically the way that I have this set up right now is, pretty much the opposite. So the next thing that you want to concern yourself with, all right, make sure enable pin, okay, and you can see it right there on mine. This is a UB1 with a UC300. I use UC CNC, okay, and you can see 306 is enabled, okay. That light is on, and that is enabling the drive. If you do not have that, the drive will not come on, okay. Now if we come around here, okay, here's a setup for that. Okay, what we got, I'm on my B axis, okay, which in this case is 16 and 17 on port 2, okay, and again, see my enable, that's 306, okay, so that's port 3, pin 6. Again, yours is going to be different and whatnot, right? But, it should fundamentally be the same. Now, when you look at the drive, okay, here's the drive. This is the cable I was talking about, okay? If you do not have this in, okay, it's not going to work, okay? This cable here, sorry, it went out of focus. This cable here has to be connected, all right? This just disables the internal limit switches that are inside of here. This is your cable, right? You can see it's only got 5. You don't use the brown, okay, which is a ready state. You can use it. Just go into the manual and you'll see. I use it just as a high-level feedback. This right here is the motor cable. Again, plugged in. When everything's functioning properly, that right there. Now I did nothing other than, hook this up. This had a previous drive in it, motor file, and as you can see, that flickering light means it's communicating fine with the motor, okay? We come over here, okay, I got a pendant, we take the pendant, motor rotates, okay? If you get the connections right, then you get the settings, okay, in your software, right, everything should work fine. Those motors came off of not this particular machine, but a machine. Actually, it was a plasma machine. This is my CNC machine, and again, right, this is a rotary axis that's going to go on my. I got a transmission that goes in here, but basically these things work fine. These are literally clear path motors without the driver on the end of them. They just use an external driver. Now, you're going to have tuning, okay? Let's see, which one is the tune? This one here? Yeah, this is the quick set, all right? I gave you my cable. I have to make another one, so I can't communicate with this thing right this second, but again, it's super basic, but you're gonna have to fill in, take my file and see if it works for you. It should work. It drove a pretty heavy axis and everything like that, and so long as you're not using one significantly heavier, it should work, really pretty well. And you can see what the settings, do in there. And everything you do, I don't think I can get to it right now, but let's see. Yeah, maybe, no, I can't, okay? Everything you do, you adjust from the scope page. So, when you fine tune PID loops in a servo, even with these clear paths, I hook these up to I scoped these because they still weren't right. This one right here, as a matter of fact, hums, and I still gotta do a little bit because it's got a belt, and I'm not particularly thrilled with it. But the auto tune did not work great. I had to fine tune it after that, and again, with all the experience I got in working with this, and I can help you with that. I think the most important feedback that you get from it is the position error. All right, and you'll see what I mean. So you send a command, right? There'll be a big spike, right? It'll show a big spike like this, and then a line, and that line will dribble back and forth a little bit there, and that's the follow line for the error. And so long as it's within 1 or 2 counter clicks, these are 8,000 count. And if you use some software in it, you can easily do 32,000, which is like what I did. I mean, these things are stupid accurate, So it's not any sort of big deal. I use the clear paths on this machine, and on the other machine, like I said, I hooked up some Mitsubishis, and I almost wish I hadn't, but it is what it is. I do like the software interface and that sort of thing, but like I said, you get these things hooked up right, everything like that, you know what I mean? They do this, they just work, So that's one step at a time. So they work great. Trust me. You just, I went through the same thing, and like I said, I'm going through it now. You think you got everything hooked up right and everything. It's like one stupid wire or one, oops, I didn't mean that port. I meant the other port, that sort of thing. And then, boom, everything falls into place. But it's happened with every machine that I built. And I built this machine. This is a composite granite. Oh, why my phone does not want to focus. But, and then, like I said, I figured I'd just throw this little rotary axis that I had in there. But, this is all servo driven. And, but again, every time you do it, I mean, it took me forever. The thing about clear paths is they want 24 volts. And the UCC and board, most of the boards that we use on a hobby level are 5 volts. So you can't use differential with 5 volts. Well, I hooked it up differential, and I couldn't get this thing to do anything accurately. So you just, it's so much trial and error and, reading. And, again, that 5 volt to 24 volt thing, there's one little thing in the ClearPath manual, which is an engineer's tip that says, fundamentally, ClearPath motors don't do 5 volt differential. You have to set them up single-ended. And, I do everything differential. I like quadrature best, but you can't do quadrature with these boards. And I hate Mach 3. I mean, it just kills me. I've had that go off on me so many different times and whatnot. But anyway, this should help, I hope. And, just keep at it. Like I said, that's what the drive should look like right there.